Welcome, South Africa. We chat to Bradshaw LaRue, Disability Inclusion Specialist, Mr. Cass Chetty, Business Manager, and he gives us an insight on what the brand really is about. Mr. Cass, welcome to the Get Real Show.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be at Denver.
So tell me a little bit about yourself and your role in Bradshaw LaRue and what Bradshaw LaRue actually does in terms of as a building purpose.
We are disability inclusion specialists. We assist business in becoming more disability confident. I'm the business manager here in South Africa. I handle most of the new business development as well as running the skills development division for Bradshaw LaRue Consulting. And we've been in business for 27 years, started way back in 1998 as simply just doing assessments, psychometric evaluations for staff, candidates entering the workspace. And it developed into recruitment for people with a disability, matching talent to opportunity in the workplace. And there was obviously a need for business to become more confident from a diversity, equity, and inclusion perspective. And that's really when Bradshaw LaRue started taking off in terms of being specialists in the industry, being owner managed by a person with disability, Lisa Bradshaw. She brings a very lived experience to disability awareness training, sensitization, and being an advocate for people with a disability. So it's not just about finding individuals jobs. There's a lot more to Bradshaw LaRue Consulting. It's one thing putting a person into employment, but what about sensitizing the business around disability? What is disability? What is the definition of disability? What is reasonable accommodation? What are certain barriers that people face in the working environment? So we came in and, well, we can come in and assist business with being more strategic, becoming more confident, and at the end of the day, becoming inclusive, having an inclusive environment for all staff, PWD as a person with a disability or non-PWD. And that's a bit about Bradshaw LaRue Consulting. And like I said, it is owner managed by Lisa Bradshaw, who started the business way back in 1998. And she's very much still part of the business, although living in the UK at the moment, still handles all the training for all our clients, not just in South Africa, but globally.
And let's talk about that, the disability part, which is, I think many of the businesses out there might find it a bit of an issue sometimes to employ individuals with disability. Individuals with disabilities also having issues finding jobs out there in the market. And, you know, that seems to be an issue which is still there and not going anywhere. So, I mean, how does one determine that a person with disability can fit into various roles in any business?
Yeah. It's a misconception people have. And business, and with all due respect, there are some businesses out there that think that maybe we will earmark a position for a person with a disability. Maybe they will fit in this role or function. If you look at it from a business point of view, the benefits of having people with a disability in the workspace. In South Africa, we all have to meet a certain percentage representation of people with a disability in terms of employment equity, which is now 3%. And it's not just a tick box. You want to make people relevant and make people matter in a business. So how do businesses become disability confident? It's to remove the stigma that surrounds people with a disability. There's a lot of stereotype that surrounds people with a disability. And we come in and we desensitize business. So that will help them becoming more disability confident and inclusive in terms of building an inclusive environment. So for instance, very simple example, a person that is deaf wanting to work in a factory that understands this specific machine more than anyone in the world. Are you going to employ him, yes or no? If he knows that business in that machine very well, what is the reasonable accommodation that you'll put into place for him if there was a fire or an emergency and he's deaf? He wouldn't hear the alarm, but a red light is all that is needed as reasonable accommodation to warn him that there's an emergency, he needs to follow procedure. So it's simple things that we engage business on in terms of becoming more disability confident. But it comes with a lot more training, looking at targeted approach to business from a disability or transformation point of view.
Yeah, and we'll be back after this. Welcome back if you've just joined us. You've missed the first part, but I'm sure you're going to be able to catch up. We are chatting to Kaz Chetty, the business manager from Bradshaw LaRue Consulting, and he's in studio with us right here in Durban. Tell me more about the South African Bridge Academy, which is headed by your brand as well. Tell us more about it and what does it entail?
Excellent. The South African Bridge Academy is something that we've been working on for a number of years in partnership with a company called 3 Talents out of the United States. Pat Romzek, who's an ex-Cisco employee and head of department, and he developed a training program for individuals with a disability to learn and be accredited with an international accreditation in cybersecurity and networking. And we've decided to partner with him because we saw the absorption rate from individuals passing the qualification and entering meaningful employment, which at the moment sits at above 80% of individuals that start the training program with the Bridge to Opportunity. So we looked at the Bridge to Opportunity and we made it our own in South Africa, relevant to the South African economy. And we named it SABA, South African Bridge Academy, where we upskill individuals with a disability on a cybersecurity program from Cisco, so whether it be CCNA or Cisco Certified Networking Associate or a CCST qualification in the cybersecurity space. So we've taken a lot of research that we've done over the last couple of years, and we're not just looking at the scarce skills in South Africa, but at the in-demand scarce skills. And that is why we've decided to go the digital route in terms of training for people with a disability, where we get companies that are in demand for people with cybersecurity or networking or analysts positions, where there is a huge shortage at the moment, and not just in South Africa, globally. And the SABA initiative, we call it the Journey to Jobs, but we'll get into that a bit later. It's a program where individuals don't just go through technical training, skills training. They are supported, they are coached and mentored by Bradshaw LaRue, by various international stakeholders, and they are made work ready. So once the academy is over and they have written and qualified through the international industry exam, they are literally ready for work.
And Kaz, what makes the South African Bridge Academy different to others? Well, what makes it different? Because there's many academies out there.
Absolutely.
And what makes SABA different?
What makes SABA different is our supported approach to skills development, not just another tick box exercise. And we are developing skills that are scarce, but again, in demand. Should we, for instance, skill someone to be an administrator? There's not many administration jobs in South Africa, but artisan trades, there are plenty of jobs. In the digital space, fourth industrial revolution, anybody with any IT qualifications are well sought after because it's in demand. So the supported model includes, like I mentioned, Lisa Bradshaw is the best coach or mentor you could have. Okay, whether you're a student or whether you are midway through your career or at the top of your game.
And because she's living proof because of the disability as well.
And running a business for 27 years.
And about to get married.
And about to get married. And won many awards, a
Yeah.
TEDx speaker, in her own right. It's the international affiliations, global affiliations that we have with SABA, interests in big businesses in South Africa that are basically approaching us to assist them with building a talent pipeline for their business. And that's important. If there's not a talent being built for business, how is that business going to continue? So we've taken a step back. You could say, reverse engineered. If a client comes to us and says, we are looking for a business analyst and they need to have an IT qualification or X, Y, and Z, we can reverse engineer that and put the training in place. The journey to jobs through SABA is quite simple. Upskilling people with a disability, to enter the workspace in meaningful employment. And through the Bridge to Opportunity that's run globally, it is a best practice approach, which means we have demand from business to employ the individuals once they've qualified. So the turnaround in terms of acquiring a skill into meaningful employment is going to be a lot higher than people finishing a degree and then looking for jobs, applying on PNET and Career Junction. So we're getting the letter of demands up front from business to ensure meaningful employment.
And with that, we'll see you after this. Welcome back, and we are coming to you from the wonderful city of Durban, the Get Real Show. If you have just joined us, welcome. And where have you been? So we are chatting to Kaz Chetty, business manager for Bradshaw LaRue, the disability inclusion specialist that finds jobs in a very different way, but in a censored way, giving you an opportunity to get yourself out there. And we were chatting so much about this. And one of my major questions, which I'd like to propose to you, is that when someone of disability is applying for a job, and we did touch on this right in the beginning of our interview, and we said that it goes through the process. But once someone sees disability, especially on a CV, I feel like this is my opinion, it gets discarded. And it's a bit unfair because that person hasn't been given an opportunity to say, this is my disability and I'm able to do X, Y, and Z. But because you're sifting through the CVs and you're saying, oh, this is disability, it's not going to serve as an asset to our company. But that's where you guys come in. So tell us, why should somebody get in touch with you, be involved with you, and be part of the academy? And you guys are like the angels of the disability, I would say.
It's a simple thing, Denver. It's all about equal opportunity. Let's not discriminate against people with a disability, because with a slight adjustment in their approach to overcome a barrier, remember, not all disabilities are disabling. So if a person does have a disability, it's their choice, remember, whether or not they want to disclose to the company if they are applying for a job or in a job currently. So if they are being discarded, which it does happen, we would like to encourage business to get in contact with us. Let's remove the stigma around that through awareness, through desensitizing them. Let's remove the stereotype that surrounds disability, because you want to build an inclusive environment, one that's equal for everyone when they apply for a job.
And my next question to you is how do our viewers get in contact with you? How do other businesses get in contact with you? Or individuals out there that's currently watching, for them to be noticed and be employed and have the right measure to get into the right businesses.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity, Denver. We have a website, www.bradshawlarue.co.za. All of our information is on there. There are videos that you can watch, information on the Skills Academy that we spoke about, Saba, and our services. Okay, I'm available 24/7. You can contact me on my mobile at any time. I'll definitely take your call. And we encourage business to give us a call, at least see what disability inclusion is about. That is the first step. It starts with a conversation. And the journey to inclusion is about continuing that conversation. And we also encourage business to contact us where they can build their own talent pipeline for their industry and for their business through the South African Bridge Academy.
And you did make mention that it's part of the employment equity. 3% of the employees need to be disability. It needs to fall under disability. So let's do the right thing and let's give them an opportunity. And you guys are there to assist the businesses and make them understand. This is what they can do and this is what they cannot do, and fit them into a glove so they literally form that business and make it successful.
Correct, and that's building an inclusive environment.
And I know we spoke about this. You said that Lisa is all the way in overseas, and I'm sure by now she's married. I know previously we said we're wishing you well. By now you're definitely married, Lisa, when the show airs. So we're wishing you well from the Get Real show. Let's talk about what motivates the brand, what keeps the brand to be as successful as it is. And you've said you've been around for 27 years, as long as Nelson Mandela has been in prison.
Yeah. It's all about moving away from special and perceiving yourself as equal.
Kaz, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you. Your last parting words before we let you go?
Just a huge thank you for having me. Appreciate it, and sure we'll chat again soon.
Yeah, I'm definitely sure we're going to chat to Kaz Chetty, the business manager from Bradshaw LaRue, who's given us an insight into disability. Some of the stuff that we've heard here, it's quite new, and I'm sure you've taken a lot out of it. Join us next week when we chat to more inspiring guests giving us some inspiring stories. My name is Dan Van Eyck for the Get Real Show.